it going, guys? It's Paul Myers, owner and lead therapist of Intentional Counseling and licensed professional counselor. Today we're going to talk about misconceptions of therapy. So I see this a lot in my practice where people come in and they have preconceived notions or a false mindset about what therapy is and isn't and how it works. And they're really huge obstacles to getting the most out of your counseling. So we're going to shatter some of those misconceptions and get a healthy mindset so that you can get the most out of your counseling. So, misconception number one is counseling is for broken or weak people, right? This is an older way of thinking. It's been this way when counseling first started. Many people had this ideology. Some people still do. And man, that could not be the furthest thing from the truth, right? Counseling is really for people who just want to be better. It's for people who want to improve. It's for people who want to take initiative in their life and make it positive and be the healthiest version of themselves, right? And it's really just for people who want to invest in themselves, right? And so that's the truth, is counseling is really for everybody. And it's for people who want to be better. And so the reality is most people get more out of their therapy when you're in a good place in your life and things are going well and you're just going in to learn and be preventative in your life. I see that a lot where people only come into counseling when there's a really big problem, and then we're just trying to put out fires and backtrack, versus the people that come in preventatively. Before problems occur, they actually prevent those problems and they get more out of their therapy. It's very interesting. Misconception number two is I am a failure if I need help. And honestly, getting help is not failure. Getting help just shows that you have courage. It shows that you have humility in your life and that you're taking responsibility for yourself, right? And so that is the truth of counseling, is getting help really just requires humility and ownership over your own health. And that it's very responsible to do so. When we're sick, we go to the doctor. When we have teeth problems, we go to the dentist. It's just responsible. When we have mental health struggles or emotional struggles, we should get help for that. That's very healthy to do, right? It's not failure at all. If anything, it shows strength. Which is a good thing, right? It takes a lot of courage. I always commend it. Misconception number three is I'm going to be judged and analyzed if I go to counseling by the therapist. This is more of a misconception created by media and movies where you lay on a couch and it's really awkward and the psychiatrist is judging you and taking notes and asking weird questions, and it's just not how it is at all. It's a misconception. That's not the reality. In fact, the reality is we all have blind spots, and we can all benefit from an objective perspective, right? As a therapist, we have a responsibility to be objective, and we actually are trained to create an environment that's really safe for people to share, be vulnerable, be open, and we actually encourage and celebrate vulnerability and openness. And the more you share, usually the better the counselor can help you. But it's our responsibility not to be biased. Your friends and family can be biased towards you, versus a trained, skilled therapist is going to stay objective and be very pragmatic in their approach and offer things that are not just in your best interest, but in the best interest of everybody involved, right? And so counselors play a role of encouragement, not judgment, right? It is not our role to judge others. We are human, we have flaws. We're not perfect either, but we are a role of support and encouragement in your life. And so that is our responsibility to do ethically. And also, as therapists, we really get encouraged. Honestly, we feel honored when our clients share and open up and feel comfortable to do that with us. It actually encourages the therapist for you to share more and disclose, and that gives the therapist better insight into helping you, and y'all build that rapport. Okay. So next misconception is, what good is talking about it gonna do, right? I see this a lot where people feel like they're very skeptical, they're very defeatist in their mentality, And a lot of the time we fulfill our own prophecies. So if I genuinely believe that I'm not going to get anything out of counseling, then you probably won't. You will make it to where you don't get anything out of it because you're not receptive to the process. That skepticism, that cynicism, or that expectation negatively, without even giving it a try, typically really ruins the therapeutic process. If you're not open, you're not receptive, you're not really going to receive anything from that therapist because you're not able to absorb or be open to any of the information that you're going to receive, any of the feedback or any of the wisdom or insight or perspective that they're going to be offering, right? The truth is that there's a lot of scientific evidence that backs up the benefits of therapy, from EEG scans to neurochemistry to neural pathways being formed to cognitive skills to emotional resilience and health to just the benefits in your life with better perspective and better decision making, and from relationships saved to addictions broken, and a host of other benefits that we see scientifically that have just been really life-changing. I've done therapy in my life, been very life-changing for me, very positive, very healthy, and I really consider it an honor to get to help people, and it's very rewarding, it's very positive. And so, you know, talking about it does help a lot. We feel better, okay? It's very healthy. It's also healthy to realize that you can't fix everything on your own. That's the next misconception is, I can fix all my problems on my own, right? And this is a huge misconception. If we could all fix our own problems, I wouldn't have a job, and there would be no problems in the world, and everybody would be perfect. And it's just not possible for us to fix our own problems because we have those blind spots we mentioned earlier, and we have weaknesses and limitations that prevent us from being perfect. That's the truth, right? And so there's a lot of benefits to getting help and having community and support. It's very biblical. A cord of three strands is not easily broken, right? Two are better than one, right? Iron sharpens iron as one man sharpens another. There are a lot of scriptures, a lot of positive to having another person involved in your situation that can really build you up and help facilitate strength, okay? Next misconception is, I don't have any problems. This is a particularly dangerous mentality, mostly because this indicates a tremendous amount of pride. This concerns me. People that think that they don't need help usually need it the most. And it just shows a lot of pride and a lot of arrogance and a lot of denial and a lot of rationalizing and justifying. And those are common coping skills just to kind of preserve our ego and maintain that sense of pride. And this is actually probably the most dangerous mentality. It's also a prerequisite for narcissism and some personality disorders, if it tells you how healthy that is. So try to do some introspection and really examine your heart and examine whether or not you're capable of taking responsibility in your life for who you are, and really just admitting that everybody has a problem, everyone has struggles. That's normal. That's just part of being human, right? And that's not failure or weakness. The truth is, pride is actually the biggest obstacle for growth and maturity. It destroys marriages, it prevents people from getting help. Most people that have a lot of pride don't go to therapy, they don't go to counseling. And then they never grow, they never improve, they never learn, they never make progress. And how heartbreaking is that? Because all it takes is just a little humility and a little ownership of who you are, and then you can just be a completely different person and change for the better and fix a lot of things and prevent a lot of suffering. So, very dangerous mentality. Be careful. If that's you, really do some introspection. Be honest with yourself. Don't just deny it away or avoid yourself. Really spend some time thinking and reflecting. Be very positive. Next misconception is, I'll just go a few times and then I'll be good, right? And counseling is really a process. It's really a journey. It takes repetition and time. A good rule of thumb, if you're going to go to therapy, is stick with the same counselor for 16 sessions. 16 sessions usually is a good staple number for a baseline treatment with the same therapist, because if you go to the same therapist, you build a rapport, you get more comfortable, that therapist knows more about you, they have more information, so they can really help you better, and you get more comfortable as well, and it starts really facilitating the process and becoming more powerful. And so going once or twice doesn't really work. The best ideology is therapy is a lot like going to the gym. So you don't just show up one time, piddle around with some dumbbells and then walk out as an Olympian. You have to really put a lot in to get a lot out. And that's how therapy is. It's just like going to the gym. You work out really hard, you get a lot out of it, right? And you get what you put in. So the truth is, anyone can change. It just takes effort and dedication, right? My encouragement to you is that you value yourself enough to want to invest in yourself and to really make yourself a priority. I see a lot of people have a hard time prioritizing themselves and prioritizing counseling because maybe they don't feel valuable enough to want to invest in themselves, or they don't want to spend the money on themselves, and they come up with excuses and reasons not to invest in themselves. And man, it breaks my heart for you, because you could be a much better version of you with just a little effort and a little dedication. The last misconception is that the counselor will fix me on my behalf. So this is a subconscious ideology where people don't realize it, but they come into therapy thinking that the counselor is this magician that just assigns a magic pill and can fix all your problems for you. And what they do is they take that responsibility that they really have for themselves and their health, and then they put that onto the counselor without realizing that they've done that. And the counselor cannot fix you. All they can do is offer insight and awareness. So the truth is, counselors offer insight and awareness from which the client then can use to change. So most of the change occurs when the client leaves session and implements the things that were discussed in session, and they're practicing the things that they're learning and that they're going over. Okay, so that's a healthy mindset. Is that really I'm responsible to change me, but the counselor is going to give me a direction and some tools to be working on, thinking about, and practicing in between sessions. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Hopefully that's helpful with your mindset. If you're going to get therapy, that you'll get the most out of your counseling with the best mentality possible. And if you resonate with any of that, feel free to leave comments below. If you don't have a therapist, we'd be more than happy to help you. Go to intentional-counseling.com and always subscribe. That helps us as well. All right, guys, until next time, take care. Bye.